What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the realistic rebuild of the Cincinnati Bengals, coming off a super disappointing second season. We had playoff aspirations and beyond, but Zach Taylor letting us down, getting fired here. And we are going to have some conversations to have about mostly the staff and what we want to do here. And the roster's in pretty good shape, but depending on what scheme we end up bringing in here, we will have to make potentially some roster changes as well as we see in real life. And with that said, I am going to make the decision as Chris Collinsworth, the owner here, to hire Eric Bieniemy as our new head coach. I know Joe Brady is a hot topic, hot candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals, but in this world, the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl. Eric Bieniemy showing yet again what he's capable of, and no Panthers. So I'm going to be going with Eric Bieniemy. Implementing more of that quick-hitting passing game could lead to some scheme changes, especially when I look at our wide receivers. We might want to target some more quick separator types. We will see about that as we go. As far as the defense is concerned, I'm not going to so much worry about who our specific defensive coordinator is, but we are going to be taking a look at our roster and potentially considering what kind of defense we're going to run moving forward there. So the Packers and Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. We're going to be simulating that in just a second. I want to take a look at our stats, at our Pro Bowl, and a quick recap of what our strengths were from last season and some of the things we got to work on. So Joe Burrow, a disappointing season, entering year 4 now in this world without fifth-year options, which got to throw the thanks EA soundbite in there. He is going to be in a big year for his contract. He did not earn that superstar X factor that we really hoped he would. Joe Mixon coming off an excellent season, but he's getting up there now, 27 years old. We want to maximize on his prime. Jamar Chase was great. Tyler Boyd was great. T. Higgins, on the other hand, a little bit more quiet. Uzomah still had 8 touchdowns after making the Pro Bowl in 2021. The offensive line was okay. Still some growth to do there. And then defensively, it just wasn't a very good year for the defense. But that said, to see Cam Sample get up there with 8 sacks was definitely big. And he's going to play a role in this defense next year. And then Von Bell is up contractually, finishing the year with 4 picks in, I think, the last 2 games of the season. And we're going to have to make a decision on his contract there, that strong safety spot. We don't have a lot of answers, so we'll probably end up paying him. As far as the yearly awards go here, Patrick Mahomes winning MVP. Look at Carson Strong having a good year in his rookie year for the Eagles. And then let's just look at the AFC picture here. So Defensive Player of the Year goes to TJ Watt. Ernest Barnes, Offensive Rookie for the Chiefs, the big year that they had there. Antonio Reese, who missed about 5 games, does get in the mix for Defensive Rookie. You love to see it. No Joe Burrow to be found on the best quarterbacks list. Joe Mixon second for running backs. Tyler Boyd on there. Jamar Chase not on there for wide receiver. Offensive line. We get Armstead in the mix there. D-line. There's Sam Hubbard. And no Cam Sample. Best linebacker, Jermaine Pratt in the mix. We gave him a contract extension. Von Bell second for best defensive back. And actually Chidobe Awuzie down there as well. And no love for our young kicker. So there's the AFC playoff picture there. I'm going to go ahead and I suppose take a look at the Pro Bowl roster just so we know who made it on our side of things here real quick. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase does make it. Teron Armstead makes it. We've got defense, not a whole lot here. Jermaine Pratt does make it. Be curious to see if he actually goes up. Von Bell makes the Pro Bowl. So there's a chance we get some guys going up to superstar here after some good seasons. And let's go ahead and advance. We can take a look at any development trait changes we get here. See who wins the Super Bowl. Packers, Chiefs. What a game that would be. But the dev changes we can see here. And nothing moving on the offense, it would seem. Defensively, no changes there either, because Von Bell, I believe, already had star development. Yep. So the roster's in good shape. I really am not too worried about that. Yeah, we could maybe use another superstar impact on defense, but really this is about finding the right staff and the right scheme fits for a lot of these guys. So let's go ahead and advance to the offseason here. I'm going to be making Eric Bieniemy, by the way, once we get to next season. And what a Super Bowl, man. 49-38. Woo. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to be making Eric Bieniemy once I can confirm that we have our new stadium in place, which shouldn't be an issue. And look at Urban Meyer winning Coach of the Year, by the way. How about that? So Rodgers doesn't get his second ring. Patrick Mahomes does. And nothing else to do here other than advance to the re-sign stage where we have a little bit to take care of. Can take a look at the first mock draft. The one nice thing about losing is we do get a higher draft pick. We actually have the 6th overall pick. Wow. That is something I was not expecting. At just 7 wins, we must have, the tiebreakers must have played in our favor. So that just made the draft a lot more interesting. I was fully anticipating we'd be more in that 10 to 15 range. But okay, that could potentially help us get that superstar defensive game changer. And that's going to definitely shift our attention towards some of these top pass rushers in this class. Caleb Pettis would be an interesting find. I don't know if he'll be there or not. Just kind of taking a quick peek here. It looks like another pass rusher type there out of Oregon State and Oklahoma State. So, and even Virginia Tech. Yeah, we'll have an interesting draft season, that's for sure. It looks like it's pretty pass rush heavy, and I would say that's the biggest piece that could be upgraded on our team. But did we get any retirements? No retirements. We'll still have Kelsey in there at center as Guerrero is groomed at guard. And it's only 8 players that we need to look at re-signing here, which definitely shapes up well. We don't have a ton of cap space to play around with here, but enough to pay Von Bell. Pro Bowl season, good box safety. I think a $10 million contract is kind of spot on for how he's played. So we are going to pay him. He's been a leader and a good piece for the Bengals defense ever since they brought him in from the Saints. As for the rest of these pieces, you know, we could find a backup tight end. We could consider bringing Sample or Moss back, but I don't think we should spend that price tag on them. And I think that's all we really have to concern ourselves with. We know Fuller was just a Band-Aid. So let's go ahead to stage 1 of free agency. We were very active here last year. We also have to keep in mind Joe Burrow's big contract is looming. So we don't really want to, you know, pigeonhole ourselves with the cap too much. So now that the offseason is here, interesting decisions to be made. Of course, we have a 6th overall draft pick. And we can kind of take a peek at some of these guys' combine scores now, just to get a start of an idea. I think pretty soon it lets us kind of refocus on some of these dudes. So we have a big, powerful, explosive pass rusher here, Caleb Pettis. A lot of pass rush options, really. I don't know much about Garrison Norton as far as if he's a pass rush type. It does look like our scouts think he has a lot of pass rush moves, but until we can get a better, okay, there you go, B finesse move. So he's kind of more of a finessey guy, 4.67 speed. He's definitely an option. We've got Carlos Blackman here. He's more descending, 6'2", 250. He's only 21 years old. C power moves. He's a little bit better of an athlete, however. Scouting report is speed to power, relies on, looks like he also has a decent amount of pass rush moves. So he's falling, but I'm still intrigued by him. We've got Chad Gray here. I mean, we are going to probably draft one of these guys. We're going to have to get a stronger grasp. This guy's got A finesse moves. Chad Gray, 21 years old, 6'5", 257 out of Virginia Tech. He's a great athlete. He's probably the player I have my eye on the most here. And he's actually descending. But 70% completion scouting him. And yeah, we're probably going to be going that route in the draft. And remember, we did trade away some picks to get aggressive last year, but we do have that first round pick. So we got a little bit more information on where we might be going. I think pass rush, defense, we're in pretty good shape there. We can maybe sign another corner on that side of the ball, but I think we're really pretty good. The one area that I'm very interested in here for our offense is wide receiver, because we have these three bigger bodied dudes, dare I say even stiffer guys when you look at like Boyd and Higgins. And you open up the wide receiver free agency here, Tyreek Hill hits the market after winning the Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Now, we have Eric Bieniemy. It's something to consider. It really is. The Bengals have never shied away from guys with colored pasts. So I think that could certainly be an option here, reuniting him with Eric Bieniemy, just exploding with this offense. He's 29 years old. He wants a huge deal. That would complicate things with Joe Burrow in here. It might be more financially, fiscally responsible to go after, say, Brandon Cooks, same age, could fill that same role in the offense. And even Deontay Johnson would also certainly be able to do that. I think if we could attract one of these two, I think that would be an excellent move. But I'm not going to do that if we have these two receivers here, Boyd and Higgins. And I think the way I want to play this is see if we can attract one of these smaller receivers, because I really do think with the spread offense, we want quick separators, especially in the slot. So that's why I kind of lean towards Tyler Boyd a little bit. T. Higgins is still young. Gets a bigger role as a perimeter player here in this offense. See what he can do in the spread offense. And Tyler Boyd actually on the back end of this contract, at least we can move him without, yeah, he only has 1 year left. That kind of makes it a no-brainer. We can move him, get a really good draft pick. We could probably get a second-round pick for Tyler Boyd and then spend that money on a receiver and save some money for Joe Burrow too. So I don't think I'm going to go the Tyreek Hill route here, although it's incredibly tempting. But with that Joe Burrow contract lurking, I think we should be responsible here. We're also going to have to pay Jamar Chase within the next couple years. So what I'm going to do here is make a run for Deontay Johnson. Cook's not getting any offers, so if we miss out on Johnson, we can come back to Cooks. But Cooks is a little bit more of a deep threat. If we're keeping Higgins, I'd like to keep him outside. Johnson, incredibly comfortable from the slot. Moving on from Pittsburgh here, and I know a lot about Deontay Johnson as the Bengals here. We've seen him interdivision. I'm going to boost this up, give him a 3-year deal, pushing just over $10 million per year, and hope that he wants to come in here. And I think that'd be a massive addition for this team. We know we need a backup tight end. I do like Drew Sample in that role. I'm going to kind of lowball him a little bit here, see if he wants to come back home. Otherwise, we can probably get him in free agency. We could also consider going back for Thad Moss. We do have Donald Parham, on the other hand. I totally forgot about that. So I like Sample's blocking. We'll keep that contract on the table. Offensive line, we are in great shape. We don't need to do anything there. Defensively, as I said, we are going to lean on the guys we have, draft a player most likely. I like our linebackers, Pratt and Wilson. I like our corners. Reese, got to stay healthy. Though, who do we have in the slot right now? I think that's something we should look at. But our secondary is in very good shape for the most part. Let's see. Can we use our last bit of cap space to attract a slot corner, or do we need that? Am I forgetting someone? I am. We have Mike Hilton. who kind of got benched last year. I think I'm going to release Mike Hilton. Hasn't made much of an impact. We can save a lot of money and get faster in that position. So I'm going to release Mike Hilton, final year of his deal. And we also can start to have some conversations about the type of defense we want to run. I think going man heavy, depending on what kind of slot corner we can get, might be smart for us because we've got speed, man. We got Chidobe Awuzie. We've got Antonio Reese. So that's definitely something to think about. Before we revisit free agency, I do want to make sure that we don't have any bad contracts keeping us down right now. Quez Watkins at 1.3 mil actually might have a space on this team next year, but let's release Desmond Patman. That'll clear up a mil. Dudley Hawkins has a pretty big contract there coming up off the practice squad out of Middle Tennessee State. We'll just leave that for now. Some of these practice squad contracts are definitely interesting. Dare I say unrealistic. Who is that? Marcus Bailey. And we'll keep him. All right. Not too many harmful contracts, but we did save a mil there, getting rid of Patman. So that should give us decent money to go after one of the top slot corners, 7.5 mil. That's good money for a slot. And Bryce Callahan sitting right there. He has 91 speed. I mean, that's kind of it right there, man. That's exactly what we'd want. 1 year, he's asking for almost exactly the amount of cap space we have. So that's going to be it. I'm going to give him exactly what he's asking for, and we're able to upgrade that slot corner position moving on from Mike Hilton. And those 3 cover corners with those safeties and a potentially improved pass rush, you would hope that this defense can reshape. I want to stay 4-3 with the front that we have. But certainly a lot of man coverage next year after we went very quarters heavy last year. I think we're in good shape to change that to more man this year. Let's go ahead and advance to stage 2. And we got our guys, Deontay Johnson, Bryce Callahan. And, you know, we're under the cap. We don't necessarily have to trade Boyd if we don't want to. Maybe we hold on to him. I do think it makes sense to get something for him, to be completely honest. But 4 receivers is a good problem to have. Certainly is working for the Rams in real life right now. So let's see college pro day results. I don't think this is actually going to change our stance on this all this much. I just want to see the movement in these players. And Chad Gray is the guy that's dropping here. And there's even another guy here, Daniel Woodard, who seems also to be a pass rushing type. Not quite the athlete. But we should be able to learn some more about these pass rushers. It's a good draft for us to have all these options. That's for damn sure. And the latest mock draft does have us taking Chad Gray at 6, which I think is likely. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Definitely not going to be navigating from that pick. I think the draft fits very well for what we need. But I think we've done our job in free agency for now. We're just going to make those 2 signings and stay put where we're at. And here we go, private workouts. I think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to be getting Caleb Pettis. He seems to be ascending, so let's do Garrison Norton, Carlos Blackman, and Chad Gray as our 3 private workouts. I feel like they kind of screwed us out of that information last year, so I'm hoping it doesn't do that again. But let's advance. So I still don't see anything about our private workouts, and they still think we take Chad Gray, which is just fine. But there you go, 100% scouted. We have learned everything about him. And he has C power moves, A finesse moves. He's a fantastic athlete. He's 21 years old at a good school, Virginia Tech. I feel very good about him if we were to get him. But how about the other guys we took a look at here? Garrison Norton, 80% scouted. So he's out of Oregon State, a little bit more of a strange body type. We didn't get the power move evaluation on him. The physicals are very sound on him. I think he would be our second option there. And then we did Carlos Blackman out of Oklahoma State, who's 21. He has C power moves, B finesse moves, but the best athlete of the three. So I think I would go with Chad Gray. We're hoping lands to us. Blackman's our backup plan. Norton, kind of hoping someone else takes him, honestly. And then our very last option would be Andrew Coleman here, who we don't have anything about his pass rushing skill set, and he's not a great athlete. So hopefully we don't end up with him. And then I looked ahead at any like second, third round projections we might really like. There's a few tight ends that are really interesting. All these guys are pretty good athletes that look like they're half decent receivers. Is it worth moving off Tyler Boyd to get that pick and go after one of these guys as opposed to risking they fall to us at the top of the third round? Probably not. I honestly think we might keep Tyler Boyd for now. Maybe he's a trade piece next year. But as we sit here right now, I don't think that benefits us too much to trade him away. I think keeping him in there is an asset for now. And giving up for a measly second, third round pick when there's no one I'm super targeting right now, I don't think that's the best decision. So let's go ahead to the draft. But it certainly might be good to get a pick for next year's draft. But we can handle that later. So here we go. We'll start drafting. We have a pretty strong idea how this is going to play out. We really hope that our guy out of Virginia Tech is there. So the wide receiver, Trevor Hartwell, the #1 pick. If he's good with Justin Jefferson there, that'll be nasty. The Jets take Caleb Pettis, as we were expecting. The Lions take the quarterback, Vince Cordani. They get their man. The Texans taking the guard, hoping he can be there. Quentin Nelson in that AFC South. And our guy is there. So a very easy decision here. We wanted Garrison Norton to get taken, and he did. Thank you, Detroit. So our pick is going to be Chad Gray. Hidden development. He has... We don't know. We don't know what his finesse moves are quite yet, but this man is a stud. 83 strength. Okay. I feel very good about that pick. So we are just going to advance to our third round pick. We made plenty of trades last year. Don't need to be doing that. Hoping maybe one of these tight ends is available. Looks like one of our favorite players just went. And Alex Culp is the only guy left. So he's 21. He's out of Georgia. He's not scouted all that much, but look at his physical traits. And his blocking doesn't look too good, but I think he could be an interesting project here. He has 85 speed, 93. He is an awesome athlete. So he needs to be developed, but at 21 years old, we're hoping we can do that. So we got some nice developmental tight ends. Now our fourth round pick, I'm going to take a look at cornerbacks here. Although there is a receiver that had a first round grade by some, 6'5", 229 pounds. But I kind of see why they don't like him. It's pretty stiff, F catching. We're going to stay away from that. Here is a 6'3" corner out of Kentucky. Is he the next? What's his name from Kentucky? Good 3-cone drill. 4.57. He ran a better 40 time at his pro day. Is he a man corner? Do we know that about him? No, not really. I don't know if he's the best scheme fit for us. So in the fourth round, I'm going to take a chance on a guard here. Because when Kelsey retires after this season, which we are fully expecting, I am going to need somebody. So I'm going to take a chance here on Jeff Atkinson. Okay, we'll find out more about him. On to the next pick, where I think we'll go cornerback here or safety. I think I'm going to go back to the Georgia well here. 6'1", 204, good athlete. As I always say, the type of athlete worth gambling on in the late rounds, and the agility stinks, but good speed and acceleration. Hopefully his man coverage is okay. On to the 6th round. That first round receiver out of Connecticut is still there, as is this Jonathan Holt out of Purdue, who was originally a 2nd to 3rd round projection. We just don't have a lot of scouting on any of these guys, but our scouts definitely agree that this guy is just not very good. Fights for yards. What was his physicals? He ran a 4.48 at his pro day. 6'5", 229. He could almost be a tight end project. But with D catching traffic, I just don't think that's a good gamble there. What about this Christian Lynch? Good athlete at linebacker. We'll go there. 85 speed, 89 acceleration. That's pretty good. Might take another chance on a guard. Really good athlete. Poor strength. But that's going to be a position we need to find someone at. And then our final pick here. How about a backup quarterback who we don't have right now? Christopher Hurley out of Southern Utah is a good athlete. Okay. 21 years old. I like it. All right. There's the draft. And we do have our new stadium, so I think it's time we switch over to Eric Bieniemy as the head coach. Good time to do that. So that means we're going to be running Kansas City offense. And then defensively, I'm also going to be bringing over some of the Kansas City influences there, where they do like a lot of man coverage, but they are a base 4-3 front. So Eric Bieniemy, welcome it to your first head coach opportunity for the Cincinnati Bengals. So on to preseason week 1. We're pretty limited with how many players we can add here. We have a Hall of Fame induction to watch.
There's no question the resume for Darrelle Revis is an intriguing one. His 29 career interceptions
Revis.
are low for a cornerback who played 11 years in the NFL.
So that should mean that these corners are going to be getting man coverage boosts heading into the year. So that'll be fun. Revis was a stud, man. I'm going to go ahead and skip this, though. 6 weeks, so the first couple weeks, they'll have some leftover from the Revis film study. And that means weekly strategy is upon us, so let's set our practice intensity for the season. As far as defensive ends go, I think we're going to end up starting Gay at probably left end. So we'll go starters there. We'll split the right ends up. And actually, I don't know how much better Hendrickson's going to get at this point. So we'll go backups there. Defensive tackle going to continue to split. The linebackers, starters, cornerbacks. Yeah, we'll go starters there. We're going to end up putting Reese back in at starter, and then we'll just go split at safety. Offense, pretty similar approach here. Wide receiver, I think I'll still focus on starters because Jamar Chase still has room to grow. Tight end, we're definitely going to end up going backups at this point because Uzama isn't getting much better. Left tackle will go backup, left guard starter, backup center to develop those guys. Right guard, starter, starter. So not a whole lot of change there. We're going to be going full intensity here. We can pick our focus players. So Chad Gay, absolutely. I want to focus on Antonio Reese still. And I think we want to focus on Guerrero, our young guard. So we're just going to simulate here to cut week, where we'll review the roster, take a look at how good our rookies actually are, and get one last little discussion about Who's going to be starting for us and what we're going to do there. Do have a little bit of opportunity to work on Guerrero, which is exactly what we wanted with Kelsey as the mentor role. So let's improve his pass block power. Get that anchor up. And Kelsey has done a great job developing Guerrero throughout the preseason 4,500 XP. That's why we bring in veterans, man. Love it. So we'll do upgrades and then cuts. We'll go take a look at this entire roster, but important to know how these guys are improving over the offseason, if you will. T. Higgins. All right. There is Guerrero. 74, very respectable right now. Uzomah, who is regressing, down to a 73. Still our best tight end. But you can see slowing down a little bit, which is probably realistic. Osai, who's been incredibly quiet, just hasn't had a lot of opportunities, got a lot of depth in front of him, but just hasn't had a lot of development. Still only 23, though. Deontay Smith, who's still growing. He's definitely a serviceable backup, if nothing else. And Joe Mixon is up to a 90 now. Ooh, a speed boost. Hey, okay. Man, he's a monster. He could have a huge year. So we have to make 12 cuts. I'm going to kind of do it as we see the roster in front of our eyes. So Christopher Hurley, our rookie quarterback. A lot of work to do there, 53 overall, but we got a cheap contract on him. I'm going to keep all three of these backs, I think. They all play their role for sure. Jawara Cook, an interesting piece there with the size and the speed. And then at wide receiver, right now I'm thinking we keep Tyler Boyd. And if he's getting absolutely no use, maybe we do ultimately trade him more around the deadline. But we're going to run 4 deep at receiver and really let this be a strength of the team. We do have to make some difficult decisions, I think, with the receivers. We should really only keep one of these 3. So I think Dixon's the guy we want to go with there. Hawkins, just from a cap space and dead cap perspective, should go. Culver was drafted a little bit higher. But I think Dixon's better. Maybe we can keep all of these guys, but probably going to end up putting Culver on the cut list there. Alex Culp, who we drafted. So much work to go there. But that's why we're working on the backups. He's an athlete. We like that. But yeah, he's got a lot of growing to do. That's for damn sure. On the O-line, Blake Morris. Send you to the practice squad. The rookie, Jeff Atkinson, who we drafted, is pretty good. 67 with the morale boost. So that's big. And then the other rookie, Ron Truman, isn't too bad either. 62 is respectable. We're going to go ahead and put Joey Creighton on the practice squad. Let's get our snip sound bites here for these troopers. Defensive end, so Chad Gay, our dude, 6th overall pick, hidden development. I'm going to change that number, though, because that is ugly. What can we get you? Let's wait till we make some cuts, see if any better numbers open up. So Khalid Kareem, I think time for him to go. No room for him with Sample playing the way he's playing. Ahmad Ellington here, an athlete with 77 finesse moves. Want to keep him around at right end. Honestly, man, I think that Henley here needs to be moved into defensive tackle. He came from the practice squad, so let's do that real quick. But yeah, I think we'll send a lot of these guys down. Eric Brooks and even Darius Hodge, I don't think we have a need for this season. So clearing up some edge guys there. Defensive tackle. Shelvin has not had a ton of development, unfortunately. But Ren, Henley, we could actually probably afford to sign a defensive tackle. Take a look at who becomes available there. Let's go ahead and practice squad Henley. Keep Ren for now, but we'll practice squad McCain as well. Christian Lynch is not bad. He was a day 3 pick, and I think I will move him out to outside linebacker seems like a better fit for his skill set there, which might allow us to cut Keegan Jones, I believe. Or Keandre Jones, rather. We might not have to make that move. Whoa, Kelvin Ware, who we drafted, ain't too shabby. 75-man coverage. That's huge, man. We have a rookie to be a fourth corner. That's sweet. And look at the man coverage ratings, guys. The speed. This is a much improved secondary. Even this Marquise Truman is fascinating. But probably not good enough quite yet to make the team out of Harvard there. We'll keep Nick McLeod for now. And then at safety, I think we just got to slide Richard Wagner over to strong safety. So that leaves us with 2 cuts to make. I think we got to make these wide receivers. Steve Culver to the practice squad. And then we will cut Keandre Jones. And then I'm going to take a look at free agency next week and maybe swap out Renell Wren for a better veteran there. But yeah, that's the team. That's the offseason, preseason. Heading into the year, we got a new stadium, a new coach, a healthy team, serious expectations here. Really excited to see what this team can do. And I think we do have a scheme that really fits Joe Burrow well. I've talked about how the Shanahan offense that really tries to scheme guys open and utilize arm talent down the field, create easy reads. I like Burrow back in that LSU spread offense. Get the ball out, put it in the hands of playmakers. We got a bunch of playmakers here. Very excited to see what they look like here in the Chiefs offense. And I'm going to bring back Josh Tupois, although we don't have cap space for it. So never mind. We got to roll with Renell Wren as our DT4. Maybe he'll finally break out for us. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Our goal is to make the playoffs in our first year with Eric Bieniemy. Really excited to get this thing started. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Please do hit that like button if you are. And peace out, everyone. We'll see you for the next one.